Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for Lore Replays collection to the VOD, and today we are going to have a look at Kingen here on the Aatrox. Yes, it is DRX Kingen, and it is still from back when he was still on the Korean server. There still wasn't as much hype around him, and guys, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, it was a very difficult one. And the reason I picked this replay is because look at his runes. He is running Arcane Comet on the Aatrox. Now, we used to see a Arcane Comet on not only the Aatrox, but also the Camille. And he is running the best chroma from the best skin. So I do like that. I think it is slightly better than the Prestige skin, just because it is more money efficient, but I'm a big fan of this one. Now let's talk about replays a little bit, because it was very difficult to find this replay, but I figured out a trick here that is actually quite useful, and that is that a lot of the time replays, if you just look at DRX Kingen LOL replays, right? For example, you might find nothing. However, if you then add to that, for example, a champion name like Aatrox, all of the sudden you will find more recent games. Because for me, by just clicking by just typing in replay, LOL replay, all I found was like a 2 years old game, something, and then I typed in the name of the champion, and everything changed. So it would appear that Kingen is kind of trying out the Comet here, but I mean, yeah, you just have to ask yourself, like, how effective is it going to be versus a GP's Q spam? We'll see. We'll see exactly how useful it is. I've never seen it before, but then again, Aatrox can run a lot. Like, it will surprise you how many runes Aatrox can actually pull off. And it's really weird because Aatrox actually just has one playstyle, but there's so many different runes that you can pull off on Aatrox. It's actually kind of mind-blowing, right? The Comet, I mean, I don't want to say it's a mistake and he didn't change his rune page, but in my mind that is the most likely explanation. But then again, I'm also just a one-head player and not a 5-head player. And Kingen definitely showed us how much he can dominate Doran, who, I mean, to be honest, looked a little bit shaky on his pick, but still, Kingen did definitely lane kingdom the top lane against Doran in the Genji game. And so, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he can pull off the... Yeah, I mean, it seems to work, right? And the thing is, it does work with his Q, as obviously your Q has a slight knock-up, right? And so if you hit the sweet spot, you hit that slight knock-up, you are kind of guaranteed for the, yeah, that's just a kill. Just like that, GP is dead. And Kingen takes home a kill. Oh, the enemy bot lane looks very scary though, and generally Xayah is pretty decent against Aatrox, so yeah, let's hope he can snowball quickly and efficiently, as a barrel is going to be placed here. Obviously, Gangplank wants to prevent Aatrox from being able to push this in, but he manages to push it in. He jumps forward and barely doesn't pull the GP in, but he finds himself a recall timing, which is quite important as Aatrox here. So, by the way, talking about the skin, I really want to see a Serrated Dirk. Yeah, beautiful. Right, Serrated Dirk coming out. So, talking about the skin, I want to talk about one of my biggest disappointments of this year, and that is Gundam Evolution. And Gundam Evolution, actually not a terrible game. I would say, in my opinion, it is still better than Overwatch 2 when it comes to the experience. Gundam 2 is a hero shooter. It is generally very similar to Overwatch. However, it already does a couple things just better than Overwatch. It doesn't create... it hasn't created champions that you have to pick, like Reinhardt in Overwatch. And I mean, I know that, you know, talking about this in a league cast is a little bit of a weird thing, but I don't think this lane is going to be the most difficult nor the most complex, right? I'm expecting Aatrox to kind of perma try to set up 1 or 2 waves and deal as much damage to the GP as possible, and then sometimes maybe the jungler will come by. This game looks pretty over, right? At least for the top lane. So we'll kind of want to look at what exactly he manages to find in mid lane. That is going to be really important here, as the Zaya are already 2-0, right? But yeah, so what I wanted to say is, oh, actually very, very creative pathing by Gangplank, bringing him back under the tower. Gangplank is still level 5, and he is going to be pulled out of the lane. What a tragic minion block, but he does manage to survive so far as Kingen. If you give a shutdown to the Gangplank here, that is a really big L. So it is better. It is probably better to just recall. But we are obviously recalling in a position in which we could potentially still dive. Yeah, GP probably just taking the handshaking the recall, as yeah, both are. Oh, Lucidity boots here. What are they called? Boots of Ionia. I think Greaves? No. Ionian Greaves? Something like that. Ionian boots. As oh, actually very good rotation here. He moves into the mid lane. Yeah, to pick up the wave. It's actually very, very solid. Map awareness, as GP doesn't have a lane pushing in. Actually, he doesn't even care. He just goes for the Yasuo, who is able to block him out. Blocks out the W. Kingen's ult is going to end here. Q not going to be hit. That did not look very pretty. That just didn't look very pretty. I think at that point you just run at him instead of trying to hit your W, but it is what it is. But yeah, so the game's great, but it got released right when the Call of Duty beta got released, and so there is basically no one playing it anymore. It's just hardcore fans. That's not how you do it. Let me tell you, that is not how you launch a game. Matter of fact, that is how you destroy a game, as we saw from Titanfall 2, a product that in my eyes still is superior to Call of Duty in every single freaking way. But when did they release it? They released it together with COD, and no one looked at it because COD is just everyone's guilty pleasure / toxic relationship. As okay, the Flash is going to take down the GP, and we are respecting. No, we are not respecting Diana. Ooh, beautiful combo, but now we gotta be a little bit careful. Red Smite is still a powerful thing, and we don't know if she has her ultimate. Wave picked up and pushed into the tower, so he didn't he kind of didn't really lose much, except that he was obviously forced to flash, right? All right, he is given over the wave, and yeah, very solid call here. Just pulls out the ultimate, and now he's so he was expecting his team to be a little bit faster there, but that was not, I mean, yeah, I think his idea was to play with them a little bit more, but he made a mistake in spacing, and Diana caught him with the ultimate. I think that's what happened, right? I think his call wasn't too bad. I think his idea wasn't bad. I think the execution was just a mistake in spacing, because he should have given Diana a little bit more space. But obviously, it is just what it is, as Diana did use her flash. And so, you know, it's okay. I mean, it still ended in an okay-ish trade, but I mean, Diana not going down and him going down obviously gives a shutdown over to the enemy team where no shutdown is traded. Q does connect, second Q does not connect, so he's just thinning out the wave at this point. Let's see if the W connects. That is the important part here. Yeah, W will connect, and that is a low HP GP. Now the thing is, right, that with this build, your all-in power is clearly diminished. So you're like you're reducing the enemy's HP more efficiently, right? Your Q poke is better, but your all-in potential a little bit worse. I mean, I say a little bit. It's quite a bit worse, actually, like much worse than, for example, Conqueror, right? Where you hit your Qs and then afterwards your auto attacks also just clap the enemy's face off. As, ooh, nasty 4v1 trade. That is not a good look. I'm looking forward to how exactly Kingen is going to save or going to try to save this game. So far, he had a solid roam. He could have just picked up more farm and went to the mid lane again. But it is what it is. We are going to recall now again. I'm going to pick up the Eclipse here, which, yeah, Eclipse is going to give him not only sustain, but also a lot of fighting power. And I'm expecting him to stay in the top lane for longer now and try to push out more waves and try to also dirty farm a little bit, as once you get the Eclipse, you actually do have a lot of sustain and more than enough sustain to deny something like the Krugs or something like that. Right, he's scrying for vision, not the most efficient scry, like, you know, but it's also kind of okay because what he did is, oh, beautiful Q connect, second and third are not going to connect. And he is threatening a dive here. Actually, beautiful barrel by the GP, barely connects as the W, auto attack, and Q do connect, but GP, by using his flash, will get out of that situation. Kingen did force his laner's flash though, picks up an entire wave with a full Q combo, and now he's going to start working on that turret. He still has 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining of tower plays, so we'll see how exactly he can utilize that. If he's able to get 2 plates here, now he can threaten to take the tower as well. It's not super likely that he manages to, but if he did, that would be huge. As it is not first blood tower anymore, that went over to the AD carry, the enemy AD carry. But it still gives you the opportunity to... yeah, it still gives you the opportunity to collect that gold, but yeah, not able to chunk out the GP, and so now he will not be able to pick up anything here from that plating. Yeah, you are on a ward, Mr. Might. As yeah, I would recall, honestly. Yeah, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, he's staying much longer now, as he does have a good amount of sustain. Ooh, set. Kind of looking, yeah. Alright, we see the auto attacks. Yeah, beautiful job, Set taking the aggro, and Kingen just full sending, committing. W. Flash by the Diana is going to take down 1. Is she going to be able to take down 2? No. But Set went down during his R animation. Unfortunate situation. But yeah, I mean, that's just the best you can do, right? That is just the best you can do, as said there. As his first Q doesn't connect, the W doesn't connect. There's no way to win that fight. Now, don't underestimate Eclipse, but this Diana already has 2 items, so she's just much stronger, as yeah, Kingen is going to respect her. But we are ready for a dive here, and I don't see Kingen surviving this one. He needs to clear out the wave. Yeah, doesn't get it. Ultimate is going to come through, and he is just going to go down with the world's easiest to play combo. Nautilus ultimate into Yasuo ultimate. Fun. Fun side lane experience. Absolutely dominating his lane, and then this is how the first tower goes down. Great. Great fun. Absolutely fun, but at least we focused on bot lane, huh? At least we focused at bot lane. Thank you very much, Mr. Jungler. But obviously, it all has its purpose, and I mean, you would be a fool to not focus onto the Draven lane, try to do something there. Didn't work out. It is what it is. Is Aatrox actually going to give up... Yeah, Aatrox actually going to give up gold in order to join the fight. Ult preemptively to protect his set. Set will go down, but he will take the shutdown onto the Diana. 600 gold over to him. As he now is looking for Nautilus. Nautilus is not going to go down. I mean, yeah, he is going to go down, but that was a very, 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 very far shot from being a safe kill. As, ooh, beautiful. I like your style. Leaves up one camp here. Just to mess with Diana just that little bit more. Obviously, versus champions like the Diana, you definitely want to do that. And now we are looking for the GP. The thing is, yeah, I don't know how easy it is going to be for him to... You're joking, right? I don't know how easy it is going to be for him to kill Xayah. As we just saw there, he managed to blow her flash. So, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big W. As Greg... doing some very questionable things. Alright, beautiful connection. Ultimate only... Yasuo ultimate and Diana ultimate only hits the Gragas, who used his damage reduction. He is still alive, and Aatrox gets to do free damage to the enemy team, and that is the way the cookie crumbles. He just ignored the side lane, just gave up everything, and just ran them down with his team. No CS needed. Obviously, you know, he still has really good CS as he finds those openings. But he is definitely joining his team, even if it looks questionable that he will arrive and be able to contribute to the fight. But he does, and then he just runs in. And if there wasn't a fight, now there is a fight. Because Aatrox did arrive. Alright, to finish what I was saying with the Gundam Evolution thing, right? So obviously I'm a little bit sad that games keep making this mistake of trying to release stuff in a time window that is just not optimal, right? When COD is released, you just have to take the time window when COD attention goes down, and that goes for every first-person shooter. Just kind of find that time window and sneak it in there. As Q is going to connect with the Xayah, but Xayah ultimate coming through. W connects with Xayah, and you cannot outrun this Aatrox, as he will find you and he will take you down. Let's see if the same goes for the Diana Yasuo. You got to be a little bit careful with that. We don't know if they have their ultimates, if they're holding their ultimates. Ultimates are going to be pinged, so Wukong ultimate is available here. Wukong wants to look for something, but everyone collectively agrees. This is a little scary, as the Nautilus hook is going to find this Aatrox, and Aatrox not going to be able to stand his ground. Yep. Nautilus connects with the Wukong as well. Takes down another one. That's pretty bad. That is a big swing back in gold, as GP now has a shutdown. 355. Picked up a lot of waves. Picked up a lot of money. Graves. That is not Graves. That is Gangplank. Gangplank. Going to be exhausted. So he will die to the Draven. And Draven arguably bit of a flimsy build, but Draven is going to be pretty strong in this situation. But generally Xayah is very good against their team comp. GP also pretty good against their team comp. Diana Yasuo? Not necessarily. But I mean, they are a solid duo comp, so you know, at least they have synergy with each other. Obviously Nautilus also. Ton of synergy with Yasuo. Yep. And we are looking for the Gangplank. Okay, kill picked up onto the Gangplank here. Well, actually, it'll take a second. Alright, kill picked up. And we are looking to zone out the Yasuo. Or maybe even pick up a kill. W does connect, but it is not going to be enough as Yasuo ult comes out. Aatrox goes golden, and Yasuo is taken down by the team. Beautiful, beautiful job. They found the flank option there, and that is very, very important, right? They found a flank to break the front-to-back, stand-your-ground type of team comp, right? So Gangplank wasn't able to hurl barrels. Xayah wasn't able to put her feathers into a meaningful position to threaten, and then the teamfight kind of ended by that. Also pretty solid that Aatrox was able to zone out the Yasuo. He also picked up a Black Cleaver here. Maybe something to point out as well. He picked up a Black Cleaver. Second, also not necessarily an item that you see every day on Aatrox, right? But definitely a solid choice with this build. And you can definitely see the lack of Conqueror in his runes, right? You can see his auto attacks hurt for way less, as we have a instant teleport to the side lane here to push it out. Actually, something that I would have never done. Like me as a player, I would never teleport to a wave to be able to push it out. But I assume this is because of Herald, maybe? Alright, he wants to... Yeah, he wants to protect the Herald that was just summoned from charging and losing HP there. Good idea. As the dynamic duo of Yasuo and Diana are going to move into the top lane. It's going to be interesting to see if they can take down the Aatrox, who's actually pretty fed. Yeah, Aatrox is going to find a flank here. Xayah going to get out. Flash W is not going to connect, and the feathers are going to bind Aatrox out of fuel. Beautiful R by the Diana is going to hit so many targets here, and Yasuo is going to take down this Aatrox as well. But goes down to Draven shortly after, and Draven has to be a little bit careful here. But you can tell that Diana kind of wants to bait the Draven in and wants to bait him into the GP barrels, but not possible. Not going to be allowed by the AD carry player. And that was a pretty good Diana Yasuo combo. Like that pretty much just turned the fight on its head. The fight that actually was a pretty decent fight by Aatrox and Wukong, because they found a decent off angle, but then Diana managed to connect with her ultimate and just pulled in everyone, and everyone got ulted by her and by Yasuo. And at that point, what do you do? Actually, very interesting. Diana is not going for the damage option here. If I was this Diana, I would be going for the Demonic Embrace 1,000,000%, as Diana is going to be taken down here by the Aatrox, and now this is where Aatrox shines. It is also a little bit where Xayah shines, though, as, yeah, the ultimate is going to connect with two people again. So Yasuo definitely getting some free damage here, but yeah, we will be taking down the Yasuo as well. That was better. Now we have better auto attack damage. GA obviously also available for him, so Kingen can absolutely just run into these fights and be a menace. As the gold swing is back and forth now. It is on the blue team side who is generally the more dominant side, but if Diana can hit a good ultimate, we've seen that it worked out. Yeah, I don't know. As Diana, I would have went for a demonic embrace here instead, but I don't know. Maybe that is not her job. Maybe dealing damage is not her job. I kind of feel like it is, as you have like 3 tanky members. I mean, you actually have 4 tanky members on the enemy team. So the demonic embrace doesn't sound like a bad idea to me. As yeah, Black Cleaver definitely all over these teams. Wukong also rocking the Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is great because it gives armor penetration not only to yourself but also to your teammates, right? So if you have a good amount of 80 damage or something like the Draven who just in his build path builds the armor penetration relatively short, like late. Obviously it does give you quite a bit of value. You build it for different reasons on Aatrox than you do on Wukong, and I think it's generally weaker on Aatrox because the thing with Aatrox is it takes you quite a long time to stack up that armor penetration, whereas Wukong, obviously, you go in, E, W, Q, R, everyone has lost their armor, right? Whereas Aatrox is like, yeah, you hit your Q number 1, okay, a little bit of armor less. All right, you hit your second Q, a little bit of armor left, right? Then you hit your third Q and your W, okay, now people are actually at low armor. You know what I mean? Like it's not the Wukong, but it does give you all the things that you want, right? It gives you movement speed as you deal physical damage. It gives you health. So both of these things are amazing for an Aatrox, right? And it increases your damage. So still definitely something that is fun to build. Is it the most efficient option? Maybe not actually. But I've also, I mean, I know that there was a time where it wasn't. I don't know how it is right now, as with the changes, things have changed. That is the, oh my god, that was just, yeah. What a discovery. Obviously when I refer to the changes, I'm talking about the update that made everyone tankier. And with that, maybe the use of a Black Cleaver has increased a little bit, but generally we're going to see a Ravenous Hydra here. Interesting. And I also don't know how strong the other options are here. But I personally would say that something like Death Stance is pretty ridiculous on the Aatrox. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that is pretty decent, especially together with the Eclipse already. But it's just an absolute nightmare, huh? Yeah. Alright, well, that was an interesting game because, like, Diana, I mean, in theory, this is a pretty decent comp. And by the way, you can see how well Xayah can do versus something like the Aatrox, but the game is surrendered. GG, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Ты моя тяжелая, такая толстая, огромная я, всегда голодная, хорошая ты моя, я, бейби, ты моя, я. Ты моя тяжелая, такая толстая, огромная я.